Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress Comic News, episode 359. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host, Mike.
Hey,
how we doing, Mike?
Good. We got a fun story time for everybody. We're not going to jump the gun here. We have a special interview today about a Kickstarter project. Paul Carroll will be on. We're going to talk about Wish Upon a Star, his cool mech book on Kickstarter in a little bit. Very rarely do we get news that Chris and I just start chatting for 20 minutes before we even start recording. Because the Superman suit was released, or at least the symbol was released this week, and we proceeded to talk about it for 20 minutes. And then I said, hey, we should probably just start recording for the show because we're going to do it all over again.
I'd say we broke the cardinal sin of podcasting, which is to not talk about things before the podcast.
Yeah, to not talk about non-podcast things. But that's how the podcast started, Chris, because we would talk about comic book things. Oh, man. We've come full circle. Now we use the podcast to talk about comic things before the podcast. Nice. Yeah, so it's a beacon of hope in a long and dreary DC movie.
It's just so much fun to talk about DC movies again. I mean, movies in general.
Right, yeah, just
but like excited. To be excited for DC movies again, for me personally, is just refreshing.
Yeah. It's a nice feeling, especially when Aquaman came out on HBO Max this weekend. I had no desire to watch it yet.
I made plans to watch it. I was like, I'm going to sit down and watch it. And to be fair, Dune 2 also came out, and I didn't watch that either.
Yeah, I need to see that in the theater for sure.
But it's so funny. Like you take time off of work to like relax and do stuff around the house, and then everybody wants to do stuff, which for me is like I don't go out much, so I'm like I can't fight it. But I made plans to watch it, and I just never had the time to do it because I had to use that time that would have been for leisure to do the things I was planning on doing while I was off of work.
That's how it goes, man. But
good problems to have.
From what I heard, Chris, we're not missing much. Whatever decision that you made to not watch Aquaman was probably the better decision.
I'm positive I'm not, but I'm going to put myself through hell, Mike. Like it's
because we were gonna watch it. Maybe we'll watch it tonight, but I don't know. Yeah,
that's I've got something else going on tonight, but eventually I'll get to it. It's just
that's what I talked to somebody this weekend. They're like, "Oh, we watched that. Yeah, it was really bad." Well, I wasn't planning on it being good. I was just saying, like, let's just get through this heaping pile of trash. And I heard, I was surprised. Amber Heard is in the movie quite a bit. Like, not all the time, but I've heard she's in it quite a bit, which is funny because they don't show her in the trailer.
It was too late to get rid of her, but they could hide her in the trailer.
They could hide her in the trailer. That's the funniest part to me is like, what you get for your wrongdoings, no trailer time. But we'll keep you in the movie that nobody's gonna watch.
It's so funny because I was our mutual friend Joe. I was over at his place last night and we were talking. I was like, and I asked him, I was like, because he turned on HBO Max to show me something just Max.
Yeah, sorry, just Max.
Because he's like, look what's on Max, and like Deadpool shows up.
Oh, what?
We're both just like, what? Why is Deadpool on Max?
Yeah.
But it led to the conversation of, are you going to watch Aquaman 2? And he just goes, no, why would I do that? And then proceeds to tell me about a friend of his who I don't know. He's like, yeah, like so-and-so told me it was good, but that person also told me Venom was good, so I don't trust their opinion anymore.
Their opinion on movies is shite.
And I was like, I had fun with Venom, but I'm not going to tell you it's a good movie.
I haven't watched the second one, to be honest.
Neither have I, because
the first one was just bad enough where I don't need to watch another one.
Well, when I saw Woody Harrelson with that terrible wig and the stinger, I was just like, oh god.
Like, my god. They're like, Woody was like, you're not paying me enough to grow my hair out like that. So fucking put me in a wig, pay me my money, and shut up.
Have you followed how bad Madam Web's doing?
Oh yeah. I all the memes all over the internet. There's the meme that like because so many people memed about Morbius like boosting the numbers and making like everybody think it was a good movie. Like those Like all those, you look at the user reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and they're like in the 70s for some reason.
It's Morbid time.
Yeah, it's Morbid time, where the studio execs were like, "Oh my god, this is our chance." So like, we got to do the same thing with an even lesser known character, Madam Web, and they're like so surprised that they didn't make it.
When will Sony learn?
I don't know. Never.
Like,
yeah,
you literally just have to let Disney do it for you, and you make money. And I was actually having this conversation last night with Joe as well. Like, it's also that there somewhere in that contract there was a deal made, because Sony gets to make the Spider-Man video games, and they get to do all this stuff. So if you just do the stuff you're good at, like the video games, and let Disney do the stuff they're good at, the movies, everybody wins. But no, they just got to keep trying, man. I can't even imagine how bad Kraven's going to be. You muted yourself.
Oh God, I was just thinking the trailer where he gets bit in the back with the super soldier serum mixing with the lion's blood.
It was a radioactive lion, Mike.
Radioactive lion. All these movies start off the same. They're like, we're in the Amazon jungle. Okay. Yeah. And someone I know, there's some disease. I know nothing about this movie. I know that the main character's mother is diagnosed with some disease, and they talk about it and do some excuses, whatever.
This is Madam Web.
Madam Web's, yeah, sorry. Yeah. I know somebody in real life that was like, yeah, my mother has that disease, and what they said is not the same disease in the movie. And I kind of just went like, listen, we're watching Madam Web, and that's your biggest gripe with it. I was like, listen, they can just comic book science. They don't need to be right about that part, but there's so many other things they need to really work on. I don't think they were concerned about the disease name. They just Googled a random disease name.
My personal favorite with these, and I don't mean this to get political, but it's just funny in itself, because when a movie's bad like this, people got to come out and be like, this is the reason why you all hate it, when it's just like, no, it's just bad.
Yeah.
Like, a couple of the actresses came out and were like, oh, people just don't like strong female women. And I'm just like,
no,
this is the same crowd that loved Wonder Woman, so maybe shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right. Come on. Yeah, they just can't like cope with the fact that they were just completely awful in the movie, and the movie was awful.
Sometimes the movie's just bad. Like, you just got.
But I've heard terrible things about the actresses in it too. I know one of them is fairly popular. I think she was in some show. I can't remember. Sydney Sweeney is one, and I can't remember the name of the other one.
The woman in the lead is I know her, but I don't know what I know her.
But people said she's just like the way she's, and I remember seeing this in the trailer. The way she like delivers her lines are just completely lifeless. Like, absolutely.
I mean, I had heard prior to this that there was a lot of scuttlebutt that like it felt like everybody was getting a paycheck here.
Yeah,
and
like everybody was phoning it in, kind of thing.
Yeah. Where do I know this woman from?
She was in something, but
not that I actually saw the movie, but Dakota Johnson. She was in the 50 Shades of Grey movies.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it. Was Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney. But anyways,
she was in Need for Speed.
Oh, I didn't watch that movie.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
It's funny that it exists.
Yeah, I forgot it was a thing. Anyways, I guess we'll just jump into the news now after all that Madam Web shit.
Oh yeah.
TV news. It's not on here, but I did see it this morning. A tweet from Scott Snyder about how he wrapped up the script turned in the script for season 1 of the animated Witches show on Amazon.
Ooh, I forgot that was happening.
Yeah, me too, until I saw that tweet this morning, and he said he's working on season 2. So, so that's awesome that Scott Snyder, the creator of Witches, is writing the show. He said it's really creepy. I don't know if they wrapped up the first season and that now he's working on the second season. There was some milestone he hit. You could see his tweet about it, but Witches was a really creepy book of his. Probably one of the ones that kind of pushed him into the horror genre. Like, oh shit, Scott Snyder can do other things besides Batman.
Yeah, and the art from Jock in that is some of the best art Jock's ever done.
Jock's art is insane. Yeah. That's part of the reason that book was so good.
Yeah.
If you haven't read Witches, I think there's a couple volumes. Go read it. It's pretty creepy.
Yeah, it's well worth your time.
I'm interested to see how the animated version goes.
Yeah, because it's a very dark book.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's going to be hard to adapt into. That's actually one of the few times where I would say like adapting it to animation might be a mistake. It might be better live action.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how they do that. So,
but I'm ready to be proven wrong, Mike.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Do it. Some more TV news. Brian Michael Bendis has announced that he's reached a deal with Amazon Prime to bring his Jinx World catalog to streaming service. All right, Amazon. Amazon's adapting most of the comics, with Jinx, Pearl, Murder Incorporated being put in production immediately. It was also said that the artists for each project will get EP credits, and showrunners have been announced to take on the projects. Are Ayet Waldman and Michael Chabon for Jinx, Shea Sun for Murder Inc., and Chris Collins for Pearl. I have no idea who any of these characters are, but I think you do.
Yeah, Jinx I never read.
Okay.
Pearl I did, and I'm not a big fan of, but I think you'll like it because it's very Asian-inspired cinema.
Oh, okay, cool.
If I remember correctly, like she's an assassin, and there's a lot of like Japanese underground stuff going on. And Murder Inc. is more up my wheelhouse. That's kind of the crime noir book that he did. One of the many he did.
Yeah.
Because I'm hit or miss with Bendis. Like I liked his Marvel work, even though he did tend to like leave some strings out there they never closed up. But I think he's a good writer for the most part. His independent stuff can be hit or miss, but because he tries some things in different genres, and sometimes it doesn't work for me personally. But I want to give him credit for every artist gets an EP credit, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's cool.
That's huge. I love that he did that right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I think the only unfortunate thing here is I think Powers is still held by Sony, so we'll never see that get done correctly.
Oh, see, that's the one I do know, Powers. Yeah.
I love that. Even though that book does go off the rails a bit, I love that book.
Who had the show? Was it FX or
no? It was Sony. It was a PlayStation show.
Oh my god, dude! It was on PlayStation. That's right.
That's the one that makes me
watching it. Yeah.
It makes me laugh in the video game space because that was around the time that Xbox did the reveal, and it was like TV movies.
Yeah,
that everybody remembers. And they got so much shit for it. And then Sony comes out and is just like, yeah, we have TV shows, but we're not going to talk about it a lot because people hate on Xbox.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And then Powers got like one season, and they just...
I don't remember it being bad either.
It's not bad. It's just not great because they didn't put enough money into it. And it's just stuck on this platform that will never see the light of day again.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'd like to see it get a new life because that's a really, especially in today's world where like everybody's superhero crazy.
Who like was to get it wasn't like was it like one of the doctors or something from Doctor Who? Now that I'm thinking about it, or was the guy from was it the guy from District 9?
Charlton
Copley? Yeah, Charlton Copley. Yeah, he's the guy from yeah, he was the guy from I'm pretty sure District 9 or something. Yeah, he's
a good movie.
He was in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yep.
Russian Doll. Yeah, he played Russian Doll.
Oh, he was in Chappie as well.
Yeah. Yep, he's the main guy in Chappie. Yeah,
not enough people talk about Chappie, man. That was a good movie.
He played the bad guy in Elysium. Yeah, District 9. He's the main guy in District 9. The movie's wild.
Wikus Van de Mieru.
What is that? One of his characters?
That's his character.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah, Wikus Van der Meer.
I wonder. Now you got me. Now I'm curious.
Yeah, because that was like a big actor they had for that show.
Powers.
Yeah, where can we watch it now? We got to figure it out because it can't just be on.
So you can buy it on. Yeah, you can like buy it or rent it on Amazon, Apple, YouTube, all that.
They did 20 episodes.
Yeah, so it must have been 2 seasons.
Wow.
Yep, 2 seasons.
That's crazy. Anyways,
so it is watchable. You just have to pay for it.
It exists. So
okay,
it was a thing that happened.
That makes me happier.
More Bendis stuff going to Amazon. I feel like Amazon's been treating all the comic stuff well. So
yeah, they've been killing it with their adaptations.
Yeah.
So
Delicious in Dungeon episode 9. I'm behind on that, but
yeah. So Delicious Dungeon episode 9, we get. So did you watch the last episode?
Nah, a couple episodes. Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of the last episode, I think I said last week, like there's this other crew coming down the tower as they're cooking.
Yep.
And we find out that crew is helmed by somebody that our crew knows. So like they end up teaming up, and there's a healer in their group, but the healer is like very, I don't help you unless you help me. So basically the entire episode is about healing magic.
Cool.
And how that works in this world, which is D&D rules.
Yeah, of course it is.
And then the Undyne that they fought in the last episode, they have to fight him in this episode and defeat it. And through that, they make a stew with the water that the Undyne is in. That's made of tentacle and kelpie meat. That gives the magic user who almost died back her mana, so that they can continue on. So it was cool little story building there. There was just the one recipe in this one, but
okay.
Still, like the world building in that episode was great because we got to see the different types of magic, how magic works here.
Yeah.
And the fact that it really is. That's the one part where it isn't really D&D rules. It's more Final Fantasy rules. Like you have a mana meter.
Yeah.
When that's out, you have to find a way to get it back up.
Yep.
Yeah. So
got to replenish it.
Yeah, I really like this episode, like all the other ones. It's just been a great show. And then I didn't put it in notes, but I started watching Last Airbender, so I'm 3 episodes in.
Oh, cool. What do you think so far?
I enjoy it.
Nice.
I'll say it's this weird combo of very cartoony, but then it gets really dark in places.
Really fucking serious. Yeah.
like when they just set a bunch of kids on fire, I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah, like the first episode where they like burn the school when they do the Order 66.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm like, this is not your father's Nickelodeon anymore. Like in association with Nickelodeon. Okay, we're gonna burn these children alive.
There's a lot of, which is funny. I'll talk about the Nickelodeon comparison later with something really dark, but there's, for me, like the fighting is good. I enjoy it. As somebody that's not really into that stuff, and I don't know how realistic it is to like actual Asian culture and all that stuff, but like it's enough where I believe it. So
yep.
As someone kind of ignorant to a lot of that, it's just like, okay, this looks right. I like all the characters. It's fun. The kid Aang, the lead character, he's interesting. He can be a little much at times, but
yeah, he's hit or miss.
I think overall, like I really like it. My biggest gripe with it is you can really tell when they shot on location, and when they're in front of a green screen, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
like whenever they do the fire, nation room, I'm just like, fuck, these guys are sitting on a giant green screen.
Yeah, there's like a curtain around them. Yeah, that's for sure. I don't know how big the budget was. Maybe they'll have a bigger budget next season if they get a lot of people.
It's also, I don't blame them because I think a lot of these streaming services overextended themselves with these big budgets, and now they're finally having to come to reality of like, maybe we should tone it down and like be realistic.
Yeah, it's a TV show that people are going to watch within a week.
Yeah. So while it's like it's funny, I understand it, and it still looks good. It's just when you notice it, you notice it. Other than that one thing though, the special effects when like the one girl's water bending are really cool. So
yeah, they focus on a lot of different stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of their CGI effects went to, is the bending stuff, which makes sense. That seems to be the most important part of this series.
Yeah, I think if you went back and watched the cartoon, you'd like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna see after the season if I stick with it and I really like the first season, maybe I'll go back and watch the cartoon.
Yeah. Movie news. More news come out. We talked about it, but off air. More news come out about James Gunn's Superman film. Yeah, not just Superman Legacy anymore, folks. Now it's just Superman. First is that they've casted the role Perry White with actor Wendell Pierce. Second is the film is now Superman instead of Superman Legacy. Like I just buried the lead there. But I think that's funny of like James Gunn's like, yeah, we're changing the name. It's like
what was funny to me is his explanation is like, yeah, when I started writing it, it was Superman Legacy.
Yeah.
But as I finished the last draft, I was like, this is just Superman. I'm just like,
nah, your name was stupid, dude. Just make it Superman.
I like Superman Legacy. I thought it was
that was fine.
Personally.
Yeah.
I love James Gunn, dude. But like that was one of the most pretentious things I've ever seen. Talked about a superhero movie.
Yeah, like, it's like, dude, let's not get ahead of ourselves. You're the best at making superhero films right now.
Yeah, like I get it. Like, Superman was the better name, probably, or it gives a better brand,
right?
But
it's been
and then we got the logo.
The logo. So I would say, I mean, the S immediately gives you, like we talked about, looks like Kingdom Come. Like it's sharper. Yep. It's not the color scheme because we do have the yellow in there, but like you said, that it's kind of similar to the color tone of the Man of Steel logo.
It has a darker tone, but at the same time, more vibrant colors.
Right, and it could be like potentially to be brighter.
Yeah, and it could just be the scene that he's doing it there with, or it's a test shot most likely. They've only been shooting for like a week or two now.
Yeah. And is that snow or is that him unpacking the suit? I think it's snow, right?
I think it's snow. So I think that's a hint that we're getting the Fortress of Solitude.
Fortress of Solitude, everybody. What a year it's going to be for us because the podcast was named as a reference to the Fortress of Solitude. If you didn't know, Fortress of Comic News, but we get to bring that up all the time.
Yeah, I can't remember if I said this on air or not, but like it's really nice to be excited for DC movies again,
dude. And you know my favorite part about this, because I believe this is from All-Star Superman, which James Gunn had like referenced a long time ago when he was like researching. That's the run of the Superman where he has a giant key for the Fortress of Solitude. So like if he doesn't have a giant key like the size of a skyscraper that he uses to open the door, oh my god.
If he pulls out a giant key, like
he just leaves it. That's the thing, is like he just leaves it in the snow and nobody is strong enough to pick it up.
That would be the Superman equivalent of MODOK's butt cheeks. Like if there's a giant key, like I'm at least enjoying this movie.
Yeah. Like that's the type of fun I want in my Superman movie. Please. Yeah, because Mark Miller didn't give a shit, dude. He's like I can make some key with the mess with the laws of matter and make it heavier than the sun. It's like, or I could just make a giant fucking key, and then everybody will love it. Oh man.
That was funny. So I've sent you a few pictures and I posted a few, but like cataloging my comics now.
Yeah.
And I found my All-Star Superman books.
Nice.
Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, I've met All-Star Superman. Like I love that series.
Yeah. I'm gonna reread it, I think. Yeah, I'm excited for this. Like we said, I mean, it's cool to be excited for DC stuff again.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like I want good DC movies. Like I always thought that was kind of the thing that both online and in our friend groups that I got like unrightfully characterized as like wanting DC movies to be bad. And it's like, no, I want them to be good. I'm just mad that they're bad.
Yeah, just mad at what they've done with it. Yeah. It was announced over the weeks that as part of the DC Animation Crisis on Infinite Earths trilogy, there would be some classic animated versions of characters popping up in Batman Beyond and Batman the Animated Series. Also, actors Kevin Conroy, Will Friedle, and Mark Hamill have already recorded parts of the second and third parts. This is said to be the last thing that Kevin Conroy has recorded before his passing. That's insane, and I'm really excited. That was such an awesome idea for them to have,
and the forethought to do it.
Yeah, right before he passed away,
because obviously people knew he was sick. We talked about it like when I met him the year before. Like he obviously was not well,
right?
And for them to be like, we have this thing we want to do. Will you record something before you croak?
Yeah.
It's like, it's dark, but at the same time, like, thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Because... And also, like, I mean, like you said, when he saw me, he didn't look too great. He was always there for the fans.
Oh, yeah. Like, he looked in person. I don't know if it's easy to tell with the picture I took, but in person he looked fairly sickly, like there was something wrong. And I don't remember him talking about much. So kudos to him for like just fighting through it and then being there for people. Especially we're talking like right after COVID restrictions were brought down. So going to be at a con, not feeling well, like come on.
Yeah.
But Mike, I went from not giving a fuck about these 3 movies.
Now you got to watch them.
To immediately being like, I'm watching these movies just so I can get my 5 seconds of Will Friedle being Batman Beyond again, and then my 5 seconds of Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill on the TV together again for the last time.
Right.
Like, I guarantee when we get to the 3rd part and it's animated Batman and Joker and those 2 voices, I will probably be in tears because I know it's the last time my childhood's coming back.
Yeah, that's it. That's crazy. Well, it's wild to have them back together again.
I made fun of them doing a trilogy like this. I made fun of it for a little bit. Thought it was weird that they were doing this. I'm in. I put everything away. I'm in.
Yep. I can't wait. The first part wasn't bad, but now I know why they saved these parts, because like now it's like, oh, we're revealing some shit that you couldn't do with the comic.
Is the first part out?
Yeah, part 1 is out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, then I'll probably be talking about it next week.
Yeah, it's on. I think it's on Max. I watched it. It's really good. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy of the comic. Like, it's very similar. That's why I
expect them to reinvent Crisis.
Right, but this is when they start doing the reveals of like the other worlds. That's where I expect them to start pulling out shit.
Yeah, and like these are the big headlines, but they're bringing in Red Sun Superman and Gotham by Gaslight. And all these
they gotta be doing all that for sure. Yep. We don't talk about Magic the Gathering on here a lot or ever, but there is that set coming out with all the animals we talked about. And so with the commander style decks, they have Magic's been doing these things where they have 2 different descriptors, just 2 descriptors that usually rhyme to describe like the mechanics of the deck.
Okay.
And so one of the decks is like this is a raccoon like sorcerer. He's like, or like wizard. And the 2 lines they go to describe his mechanic are make trash, do smash. It's amazing. And that's like, after we finish recording, I'll send you a picture of it. But like that alone is, I want to put it on a t-shirt and just have it like make trash, do smash.
If that's not your new catchphrase, I don't know what you're doing in life.
We've been having a riot with it at the Magic shop. Just being like, make trash.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm pre-ordering that deck for sure. Yeah, I'll show you. It's like somebody at marketing at Magic is just having a fucking day over there.
That's one of those things somebody wrote and was just like, they'll never use this, but it'll be so funny. Yeah. And then it gets to final and they're like, I can't believe it's been happening.
Like, it's becoming like a meme over there. Yeah. So anyways, we'll get to the comic news after I'm done reading my smashy comics. Dark Horse Comics announced that actor Josh Gad, who is Olaf in Frozen, right?
Yes.
Oh, and that's him.
So the press release is literally Josh Gad, star of Frozen.
Oh, okay. Yep. Will make his comic writing debut in the new series, The Writer. The comic premise will be very meta to take on the creative process mix of the classic folklore tales. He's going to be co-writing alongside Ben and Max Berkowitz with art from Ariel Olivetti. Hey, Josh Gad, if you want to come on the show anytime, brother,
right.
I'd love to hear your origin story in comics. And that's him. That's definitely him on the cover of the book. So like you said, very meta. He'll be writing about himself with some monsters. It looks pretty interesting, Chris. I might check it out.
Yeah, it for me, it's if you're gonna check it out, I'm definitely gonna wait to see what you think of it first.
I haven't read a Dark Horse book in a while.
I've had a few here and there that I've checked out, but and I mean they do all the Kevin Smith stuff, so I have bought quite a few actually.
Oh yeah, then I have read a book. Yeah.
I mean I don't have much to say other than the Berkowitz brothers.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring this back to Batman the Animated Series because one of the writers on the staff from Batman the Animated Series through I think Justice League Unlimited was Stan Berkowitz.
Oh.
And I'm wondering if these are his kids.
Oh my God. We'll have to look this up.
So yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Well, I'll tweet at him. Hey man, do you want to talk about your comic on our show? Let's see what he says.
Let's see. Stan Berkowitz. Right here. Okay. He's been married a long time.
If it's been part of Hollywood, I have to assume that they're somewhat related, because that's the more and more I find about people in Hollywood, it's like, oh man, this is just like one single string of people all related to each other.
Yeah, and it's not like it's a super common last name, I don't think.
Right.
Stan Berkowitz kids. Let's try that.
Yeah, because it still can't. He'd probably be too old now. I don't know, depending on how old he was when he did animated series.
No, he's still around doing interviews and stuff. So yeah.
Oh man, I'd love to talk to him.
No, yeah, it's gonna be hard to find, but that was the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking about it. I was like, Berkowitz, I know that name because I've been doing a Batman podcast.
Yeah, hey, I know that. I see that name all the time. That's awesome. Yeah, it sounds interesting. Kind of looks like Lovecraftian horror with the writer thing.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see, because like I kind of get a Wolfman feel here.
Yeah, then you got like the tentacle and the many eyes and all that. Yeah, skeleton.
Yeah, and there's definitely a walking skeleton. So like it'll be interesting to see what they pull from.
Yeah. On Grant Morrison's Substack, he announced that he's teaming back up with Frank Quitely for a new series. Oh shit. Not so much is shown about the comic other than a very rough sketch. For those that don't know, these two are most known for teaming up on All-Star Superman. Yeah, I messed up when I said All-Star Superman earlier. I meant Grant Morrison, not Mark Miller, about the giant key. I just I got mixed up.
I think you said Grant Morrison at first and then went to
because Mark Millar did he did All-Star Batman, right?
No.
Or am I wrong with that? Who did All-Star? Now I'm all mixed up.
All-Star Batman was, I think it was Frank Miller.
Oh yeah, because yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Frank Miller and Jim Lee. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking. Anyways.
Well, the original All-Star Batman, because there's been a few versions of it. Yeah. Snyder did an All-Star Batman too.
Snyder did a new one because they tried to like wash away the old one.
Mark.
Remember they printed didn't they print like there was one swear word they printed in one of the issues that they had to like stop it after a certain issue. I can't remember what it was. He said, I think he says like, fuck yeah, I'm the Batman or something.
Yeah, I don't think it ever got finished. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, because DC printed the words like fuck yeah, and they didn't bleep it out. Because like Frank Miller wrote Batman being like, I'm the goddamn Batman. Something like that. He swears in the comic.
Yeah. And that's where I'm the goddamn Batman comes from. It's from only Frank Miller can get away with that.
Yeah. And then they'll print it by accident. It was not by accident.
Listen, DC let Brian Azzarello print. I forget who the artist is in that book.
Yeah,
but print a Batman book with Bat Dick in it. So they've made some mistakes.
Yeah,
I don't know what this image is, but
so this is the image that some sort of like sketch that Quitely did, and this looks like a script. So if this is how Grant Morrison does his scripts and sketches, how do you figure any of this out?
I mean, he's an insane person, so it doesn't shock me. I see the word SpaceX in there. That's about all I know what's going on.
Oh, envelope with a SpaceX. Oh boy. Yeah. I also, that envelope down below looks like has a pentagram on it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's supposed to be like the SpaceX symbol, maybe.
Oh, it's a rocket ship.
But then this rocket ship here is very phallic.
Yeah,
to be fair, rocket ships are very phallic.
You never know, Grant Morrison. He did make a vagina ship.
But yeah, it's
in Wonder Woman.
At the end of the day, because this was on his Substack, this image, so it has something to do with what's going on. At the end of the day, all you had to tell me is Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely, and I was going to pick it up.
Yeah, I know for sure. The All-Star team up's back. I'll be there.
Interesting though, because Frank's been doing the Geiger book, right?
No, that's that is not Frank Quitely. That is Gary Frank.
Gary Frank.
Yeah.
What was Frank Quitely doing? recently?
I don't know. I thought he was just doing covers for stuff.
Ambassadors. He was with Millar.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right. And that finished up.
Yeah. So it does make sense that he's open.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited for that. What we read this week. So I caught up on the one book I haven't caught up on yet is Wesley Dodd's Sandman, but I don't know why I keep putting that one aside. I read Hush Ronin #1, so that's actually the Jay Sheik book from our last week's interview. If anybody remembers, we talked to them about Thistle, and Jay Sheik had a book called Hush Ronin through Band of Bards. So I read the first issue because it's about samurai and it's black and white and the blood is red. So fuck yeah, I'm all about that.
So it's black, white, and blood.
Yeah, hell yeah, it is. Yes, exactly. No copyright infringement there. It's a good first issue. It's about a young guy whose family in his village is killed. He gets because they're looking for this stone. If they have this stone, then they can use this magical sword. Everyone's looking he's the only survivor of the village. So obviously he gets some vengeance later on. There's a time jump of when he's an adult now, and these evil people are coming after him. So there's half mysticism, half samurai stuff. It's awesome. The art's amazing. Jay does a great job with the art. He did a great job on Thistle. So highly recommend it through Band of Bards. Sinister Sons #1, Tomasi Lafuente and the art. Dude, yeah. I would say this one's a little more fun, or a little more seemed to be more upbeat. I think it was the art and the colors a little more fun than Super Sons.
Yeah, it's evil fun.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's good. I like the sci-fi vibe to it. I think that's what it is. All the colors because you're not on Earth anymore. I think the characters are cool. I'm in. So Tomasi has me in for 2 characters I knew absolutely nothing about.
Yeah, who I think are fairly new characters too.
Yeah, so. Yeah, for sure. I caught up on Blade. Nice. That was really good. The last couple issues. That book is just so good, and the art is just so good. Because he's in hell now, so there's.
It's you got to do it. Every character has to go to hell eventually.
It makes sense for Blade to be there. Jay Garrick Flash #5. This is Jeremy Adams and Diego Olategri on the art. This is a really fun issue. I just wish the shit came out consistently. I feel like all the JSA stuff, I'm just so confused about the release schedule for all of it. But
that's because there is none, Mike.
Yeah. So Jay and his daughter Judy go to Dr. Midnight's hideout, but they're with the plan to flush out Dr. Elemental, because we find out Elemental made Jay and Judy and has some reason for bringing her back to he's been trying to create these speedsters. So they go to Dr. Midnight, who's hiding in some other country. So it's cool that we get another JSA character. That's part of the story. Judy gets captured, so the villain in this issue, Chris, returns from another issue as Robear. So it's half bear, half robot.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. So he's attacking the island, and they use him as a distraction to capture Judy. So Dr. Elemental captures him to get info out her, or to experiment on her. But Robear gets stuck, and they're gonna question him in the next episode. So, the next issue. But no, it was a good issue. Yeah, I said,
dude, Robear rules.
Yeah. I don't know how we didn't know about Robear before, but it makes sense. Robear instead of robot. Makes sense when you don't think about it. It's amazing, right?
Dude, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, we gotta bring back Shitty Villain of the Week real quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. The JSA first encountered Robear in 1941 when they attacked Dr. Elemental's lab in Germany. Robear and a squad of zombies were guarding the main entrance, but the Flash easily overpowered them. Oh my god. So his powers are cybernetic enhancements, claws, enhanced intelligence.
I think he's a new villain. Did it say
teleportation?
Did it say he just came out this year? because it like the flashback was from 1941.
Oh, that's why we never heard of him. First appearance, Jay Garrick Flash #2 from 2024.
Yep. Yeah, this issue was like focusing on him. It was great. Yeah, Chris wants to read this book.
Yeah, like you've got me hooked now. Fucking Robert, I'm down.
Robert. Yeah, those are the type of villains. Like if you're gonna add villains to a Flash book, that's what's getting me interested.
Robert's had 3 appearances.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's all Jay Garrick the Flash.
Yeah, I need to buy the series now in physical copy, so I have the first appearance of Robert.
Yeah, you got to, man.
Yeah,
that's so great.
I gotta speculate, buy up all the issues. But yeah, it's a good series. I read some other stuff, but I didn't take notes on it, so I'll probably have more for next week. But there was I got it. I haven't read it yet. There was a trade that came out, Chris, which I had no idea was coming out. Is Godzilla and Kong, like it's a prequel trade to the movie coming out.
Okay.
I had no idea it was coming out though, so it's another Godzilla book, but I don't believe it's through IDW. I think it's through Legendary.
No, Legendary has the movie comic rights. That's why if you see the Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, it has the little Legendary logo on it, not the IDW logo.
So now we're getting another prequel comic. It's a whole volume of comic, but I just haven't read it yet. So
that's cool.
I'll be taking a look at that.
So yeah, so you talked about this one last week, but Green Lantern War Journal #6.
Yeah.
Read it, and just John Stewart Green Lantern, best Green Lantern.
Yep. Kind of wraps up the first arc, I'd say.
Yeah, like there's definitely more to be told, but there is a definitive conclusion to that whole thing.
Yep.
And then, so I didn't read a ton from this week, but a bunch of stuff from last week. So Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars Battle World #4.
Nice.
What I'll say, because this is the end of the series, the book doesn't reinvent the wheel, man. Like if you like Secret Wars and you're a big Marvel fan, they just put a fight scene in between moments. Yeah. And they even in the back of this issue are like, this is where it takes place, and it's literally between 2 panels in Secret Wars.
That's funny.
So it's fun. It gives like a little bit of a glimpse of how things were like the heroes and villains were being fucked with by the Beyonder. And it does focus on Spider-Man in the black suit and how the black suit was Venom the whole time. Of course, at the time, like that wasn't a thing. It became Venom later, but they kind of retcon that in. There's a few cheesy moments where like Falcon shows up and then the Beyonder gets him and like turns him against Spider-Man. And Spider-Man says like, well, I can't take down Falcon. He's our generation's Captain America. And I'm like, oh, jeez.
Oh my God.
But outside of that, it's just a fun book. If you're into that space, like, it's not going to get any new readers.
Yep.
Gods #5 came out. And what I like about this is the character we've been following that has joined like the science god group. We find out the reason she was taken is that she's actually very talented in like magic abilities. And for this version of the gods to take her and train her and turn her into a god, they can't do that because now she has the stink of the science guild. And so it's kind of funny in this because like the science guild are shown to be like the bad guys.
Yeah.
And he explains it as like, you know how when a baby bird is taken away from its nest and then the mother will no longer go near the baby, that's what they did to you. And now you will never see your true potential. And it's like, oh shit.
Interesting.
I'm still a little confused on what we're doing here, but it's been a fun book. So if I'm sure Hickman's going to find a way to wrap this all up. I know it's only got 3 more issues, but it's other than like we're mixing into the magic realm, it's kind of sitting on its own. And speaking of the magic realm, I have Daredevil #6.
Nice.
Guest starring Doctor Strange. This issue gives us a conclusion to why the sins are on Earth, and basically ties into the end of Chip Zdarsky's run, where the sins followed Daredevil back to Earth from hell when he came back. So now it really is up to him to send them back and to figure out a way to get them off Earth, because not only are they is it his fault they're here, but it's literally a manifestation of his sins come to life. Remembering there's a lot of like Catholic doctrine in this in Daredevil.
Yeah,
books.
Right.
So he's literally like trying to pray away his sins, and as he's doing that, he comes to the realization that these things are here to basically punish him for his past mistakes. I thought it was really interesting. I really liked it. Ahmed's been doing a great job with Daredevil. So
cool.
And then 007 number 2, James Bond 007 number 2.
Nice.
So Garth has taken the choice to be much wordier with a James Bond book than anybody else has done.
Interesting.
But I mean, there's not much to say. We got that water bomb. He's going off and trying to deal with it.
Yeah.
Felix shows up, and the CIA agent version of James Bond, and they're going to work together on it, and James Bond shit happens.
Nice.
And then, so the only physical book from this week I read was Avengers Twilight number 3. Is 3, right? Yep, 3. So real quick, I'm going to spoil the fuck out of this book, everybody, so you're warned. Cap decides he's going to go save Iron Man, and Iron Man's on the raft. So he has to infiltrate the raft. And when he gets there, so he's able to sneak through, get there, see Tony floating in the BAFTA tank. And when he gets there, the new Bullseye is there. That's part of the Thunderbolts. And it's this great moment where he's like, he's got him, and he has this like conversation with them. Like, he can tell soldier to soldier, like, goes, dude, you didn't shoot me last time. There's a reason for it. And trying to talk him through it. And that's when Tony's kid comes in, which causes a Captain America versus Iron Man fight. You know, we all love that.
Of course.
And then Bullseye jumps in, but this time with a bow and arrow instead of a sniper rifle. And they have a conversation like, why'd you help me? And he's like, I thought it was the right thing to do. And Cap's like, listen, you may call yourself Bullseye, but I know a Hawkeye when I see one. Which is cheesy as hell, but I loved it.
Oh my god.
So wow. He straps Tony onto his back, and they run out the fucking raft. When they get there, if you remember from last issue, we met Kamala Khan, and she was like, I want nothing to do with this. She's a middle-aged woman with kids. Like, she's just living the family life. And they have this big fight, and who shows up to rescue them other than Kamala Khan? Which was a great moment, even if they spoiled it right on the fucking cover.
Yeah, right.
What they didn't spoil right on the cover, Mike, last warning, everybody, spoiling this, is they save him, or she saves him, and then Iron Man comes down, the new Iron Man, and a streak of lightning comes down and takes him out, and it's fucking Thor standing there all fucking beefed out, like, wow. So Captain, are we assembling? And I lost it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I love this book, man. It's been such a blast.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then for my digital reads, it was Duke number 3.
Oh yeah, I saw that came out.
Which is a prison escape. They all get out of the prison because it gets attacked by Cobra. And the Baroness actually helps them along their mission, and she like kills apparently a major G.I. Joe person. I don't know. I don't read G.I. Joe, Mike.
I don't know anything. Beats me.
I just read after the words that like a major person was killed. It's like, well, that's the only person that was killed. So
had to be important.
The guys that were helping him, the guys that captured Duke were talking to their commanding officers, being like, listen, this is Duke. He's the guy. He's the greatest soldier ever. So he has to have a reason he's doing this. And they're told, like, just follow your orders, don't ask questions. And they're like, okay. And then this happens, and Duke gets Baroness to help him, and he saves everybody, even though they captured him. And they're just like, it kind of ends with them being like, so what's going on? And the last sequence is like Duke standing there, be like, with fucking Starscream behind him, but like you can tell it's an effect. It's not him actually there.
Yeah.
And being like, well, let me tell you. I'm like, so Duke's awesome. Love about Duke. And then I won't spoil this because it's a review copy, but I read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution. Mm-hmm. That'll be out today as you're all listening to this. And I really liked it. It's basically a reboot of TMNT. So while it takes place after Last Ronin, it's literally just we're in a neo-futuristic New York City, and here's some new turtles that are going to fight evil.
Nice.
What's different about them is they actually have character design to them.
Oh, okay.
So like one of them is a snapping turtle, and he's the bruiser.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them even has like a superpower, which I won't spoil because it's a cool moment. And it's back to them being like teenagers again. They're kids.
Okay. Yeah.
So while I was kind of hesitant with this book, I ended up really liking it. And I think also it does a great job. If you didn't read the first book, which you should, you get kind of the wrap up real quick, because it brings you through 2 pages of like, first it connects directly. I know the first book did this, but it blatantly connects to the Mirage Turtles. It's the original run, and says this happened, this happened, this happened. Oh, and then this person became the last Ronin, and this happened, and now we're here. Let's go.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, it's really good. Everybody should check it out. So Mike, that was everything that I read this week. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
You can find me at Fortress Chris on pretty much all social media. Also at chriscomicscorner.substack.com. And if you want to follow the show, at FortressComics_ on Twitter. Also at FortressComicNews.com. If you want to support the show, like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube version of this. And 5-star reviews on the podcatcher of your choice. And if for some reason we're not on the podcatcher of your choice, and so you're using another one to listen to this, let me know and I'll get it on that podcatcher.
Get it on the podcatcher.
Also patreon.com/FortressComics. So thank you all so much for watching and or listening this week, and we'll see y'all here next week.